for the very first time. Joining me today is Lungi. She's all the way out in Cape Town, and we're talking World Radio Day. It is, of course, a Tech Tuesday on the jump off, but we're going to do something a little different because it is World Radio Day. We're celebrating it a little different. Hi, my mate.
Hi, Quarks.
Can you hear me?
And all the jump off listeners.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Are you able to hear me?
Awesome. I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, awesome. Thank you for having
Good
me.
morning.
I'm so excited to be on your show.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. I'm good. So happy to be celebrating World Radio Day with you, especially. It's like one of those really special things for me because it's been like a love for me, this whole radio thing for so long. So I'm especially happy today. So thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Sun is shining. Listen, how's Cape Town weather?
Look, it's hot, but there's like this weird overcast weather. There's some clouds. It's gray, but it's hot. It's hot.
Yeah. Listen, World Radio Day, we're celebrating. We know that this has been going on for eons. I mean, radio started or was discovered in the 1800s. And we've had the pleasure of obviously hearing the greatest of broadcasters, come in and out of our lives. We have the fortunate chance of being broadcasters ourselves. And I mean, this is a great platform, but Lungi, I just want to ask, to you, I know that you probably started listening to radio from a very young age. I know I did. Like in my household, like without a doubt, we're radio every single day. In fact, to this day, like, mama, like at 5 a.m. in the morning, bruv, like it's switching on the radio, and all of a sudden, like, like I've not choice, that is how we grew up. That's a culture. And especially for the people back then, like all they knew was radio. They didn't know TV, like TV is new,
Exactly.
So I can imagine that when you grew up to radio. I want to know something. What was one of the first songs that you heard on radio? You were like, yo. Or what was one of your first memories when we talk World Radio Day?
All right. I think for me, I have the exact same story about growing up with radio. Radio was a huge part of our lives as a family. So I was born in Graaff-Reinet, and my dad was a pastor there. And so what would happen is one thing that stands out in my memories is Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings, even though right?
Yeah.
It's all about those Sunday
it's church first. Yes.
So there's that, and there's this, the music, the church music and stuff. Listening to the radio on a Sunday morning was a huge part of my family's life, but also every single day, to a point where I think the first time first time he came through to Graaff-Reinet, and at my creche they chose me to perform a poem, Quarks. That was my first time on radio, and I remember I was so excited I could not stop talking about it. Until today, I still remember that poem. So from that moment onwards, I was like, I absolutely loved hearing myself on the radio. I loved the experience of them recording my poem and all of that. So it's like, that for me is a standout memory.
I have to now ask, because now you've mentioned it. I have to ask, what's the poem? Please tell us the poem, because now I'm interested. I want to know. What's the poem? What did it say? Okay.
I'll do it for you. So you must imagine a tiny me. I don't know if I was like 4 or something, but here's a little me.
A smaller than you. Okay, cool.
So the poem goes like this. Ndinasitiya sam, siluhlaza yaka, ndivuka kusasa, ndisinkcenkceshele, emine maqanda, ndithi ngqothu, ndikhapha naphaya, kumnandi kuginya, sakuvuthwa sona.
I love it. Oh my word. I love it.
Launched by you.
No, I'll never launch you. And how people were like, "Oh, did they scream? Like, did you feel like a celebrity for that moment?"
Look, definitely at church, I felt like a star because everybody knew that I was going to do my poem because the teachers from creche were also at the church. Like, it's a small town. So
Yeah.
everybody knew about it, and I felt like an absolute star. You have no idea. I think that's
That's
why I can still
awesome.
remember the poem, because I kept doing it.
I can see 4-year-old you like being like, yeah, in the mirror, and you're like, listen, and
And I
and
looked
and you're doing
exactly
the
like this,
accent. I can see
just
the
times
accents
4
already.
on the hair.
That's awesome. That's so great. Lungi, talk to me quickly in terms of your experience in the radio game. I know that, a lot of us have different experiences when it comes to being on radio. Different, obviously, radio stations have different rules and things like that. But talk to me about your personal experience.
Okay, so for me, I think I don't know how, I don't think that I had this idea in my mind specifically to say, oh, I want to work in radio, or my aim, I'm building my life to kind of, end up in radio.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think in terms of just loving the media, loving the entertainment space, loving journalism, loving storytelling, that was my
Yeah.
path. And then I think the first time I got to do stuff on radio, somebody discovered me while I was reading a script to somebody on the phone on a train
Oh,
coming from campus going home, because I lived so far. So I would like do some of the stuff on the train while I'm on the way home with some peeps who could stay at school for longer. So the first time this person heard me on the radio and was like, oh my gosh, you absolutely need to come in and do a reading for us. We're constantly looking for people who can do scripts, who can read scripts for us on our radio shows for stuff. And I was like, I don't trust you. But I went with like a whole crowd of my friends. I went to the SABC, and they did like a test. I read for them, and I landed my first like radio gig, which was just to do like Parliament news. So it was like Parliament in session stuff. I would come in on a weekly basis and record them, do the English voice, and then it started like that. And then fast forward to I'm going to further my studies, and I end up in journalism school. And over there, I meet the most amazing lecturers, specifically within who are teaching radio. And I think
okay.
that they really inspired me, and they really like nurtured something in me that just was like, okay, I love this medium. And the two of them actually helped me also make my way into my first radio job, which was for Afrikaans radio station at the SABC. And
Oh,
one of those lecturers I'm actually interviewing later tonight on my show. So
oh, lovely.
definitely a special one.
Tell the people to jump off quickly with the name of your show and what time it's on, because so that they can also come and listen.
Yes, that would be fantastic. So my show is called This African Life. Every Tuesday and every Friday between 6 and 7 p.m. we gather and we talk all things Africa that matter. We are there to change the narrative of Africa. We're there to spread the beauty that we know exists in Africa. And we're there to add our voices to the work that's already been done by so many others who are showcasing the real Africa, the way that Africans know it. So yeah, it
Yeah.
would be nice
And,
if you guys
and not
could
what
come
we
in.
see in the movies.
Not what you see in the movies, not what you
No.
see in those docies that you've watched from way back in the day that
Yeah.
really just, say Africa is one single story type thing.
Mm,
So
mm. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm actually going to tune in. I can't wait for that. But yeah, we're talking Radio Day. We obviously want to find out from you. So if you want to let us know, your radio memories, what does radio mean to you? That is the question that we're asking today. You can send us a WhatsApp message, a voice note, or you can pop in and send us a Facebook message. Look, the number to dial is 066 That's 066 and we'll play your voice notes, but also we'll read your messages. Please, Hoy, don't be afraid. But look, Cape Town, and how do you think? Because I was going to say Cape Town and online radio, but I want to say South Africa and online radio. What is the relationship that you think we are in now as South Africans, as Africa in general?
look, I think it's definitely I think we are just on the other side of the boom. The growth has been incredible. And I know that within South Africa, I think we are at least lucky in the sense that our connectivity issues are not as hectic as some other parts of the continent where internet is still a bit of a dream and it's still something that not many people can access, which again also amplifies the importance of radio still, because that's how people get access to information. But when it comes to the online radio space, when it comes to how we've infused the digital landscape and connectivity and kind of being able to do radio absolutely anywhere, anytime, however, it's fantastic. Like leading all the way up into even the podcasting space. It's amazing to see the growth, to see the
The
amount of
evolution.
voices that are being amplified and the different types of content we get to experience. It's fantastic.
That's awesome. So I want to know from you, how are you celebrating World Radio Day? Because I think when you are in radio, you kind of try and come up with creative ways of, how we're going to do this, how we're going to celebrate it. I, for one, will say this. The cassette, I still have a cassette. Do you remember back in the day when you used to make our songs? We used to write with songbook and then make.
Lyrics, you.
And then you write with songbook yako, and then you have the cassette, and then it's A side, and then the B side, and then you
B-side,
record
yeah.
the radio. Like I used to live for that. Like that was, now I'm revealing how old I am, but I used to live for that. Like that was my life. And again, with songbook, I didn't borrow it to anyone. It can't just go anyway. No. But its songbook was something sacred. Okay, it didn't just go, but. So what I'm doing for Radio Day, I'm going to listen to the cassettes that I have. I've got a little radio that's chilling in the garage. I'm going to take it out. I've got a box that has cassettes, take out one of the cassettes, and I'm going to jam. That is what
Oh
I'm
my
doing
God.
for World Radio Day. What are you going to get up to?
Listen, the fact that you still have those cassettes is amazing.
Must,
Look at you
must.
archiving your life.
Even the cassette tapes, the ones that you put into a video, don't
Yes, VHS
have them.
tapes.
And those ones are for my grand. You know what my grand used to do? Just on a side note, my grand used to record Boldy, not days, on the cassette. Like legit, like every single day. I've got from season 1, bruh. We've got that in
Oh,
my garage, right? From season 1, we've got that. And my gran used to think like this was a real thing. Like she used to get hacked when, either Stephanie Demara did something, or like if Ubruk did something. Like she used to be really hacked. Like she was concerned about her life. Like,
hectic.
oh my word. Like, because she thought this was a real thing. Remember, TV was still new to them, right? So they
Yeah.
didn't really have an understanding of what TV was. But radio, she had that radio unlocked. Like she knew what it was about. She knew everything. But my fondest memories with radio, I'll say, was and like TV is going behind the radio, because I'm trying to figure out where are these voices coming from.
What's
When
happening?
you're younger, you're like where are these voices coming from? Like what's going on here? You still don't understand what's happening, and I'll go just behind just to go look and see like what's happening
Yeah,
here. So yeah, I still have them cassettes, so that's what I'm going to be doing on
that's
World Radio Day.
fantastic. Do you remember like sometimes you take the tape, right? Because you want to record the songs from the radio because you've got to
Yes,
complete your song book. So there
must.
were some tapes that you couldn't press the recording thing. And so you'd take like a little piece of paper and stuff it into one of the little corners, and then it would
Oh
allow you
my
to record
word.
over it. Do you
Yes. And also you used to use you used to use a pen to do. I
That was
remember
the
that.
best.
Man, those were good times.
It's
Those were
basically
good
like
times.
old school downloading.
It's old school
We were
downloading.
downloading from the radio to
I'm
the
telling you. And we were doing the most, and we were living our best lives. The quality was like on
Yeah, no,
point,
it was
eh?
top
Do you
notch.
remember? But everyone had to keep quiet because we're like, oh, we're recording. Shh, like don't make a noise. Like that time. But
Oh, that's a
radio had,
great way to celebrate.
yeah. How are you celebrating?
Like I said, part of me celebrating this day is actually having one of the people who really inspired the love of radio, and saw something in me and really nurtured it by, kind of encouraging me, giving me extra resources, showing me new ways of it. Going to an extent of gifting me books that, you can have this book. It will, give you a lot more that you can kind of look into. And man,
Mm.
so that's one thing I think is so important. I just want to give, I want to give him his flowers, one of those lecturers of mine. And I also had a chat this morning with some friends that we worked together, we studied together, we got together into radio at an early age. And one of our friends has passed last year.
Oh,
He passed last year, and we were just kind of sharing some of those memories today. I like brought it up in the group, like, do you guys remember this? Do you remember that? And it's been such a beautiful thing to say, people were brought together by this wonderful medium. And I
yeah,
mean, man, I hope that it can continue to do that with us in the way that we're doing radio, that we can still create
definitely.
memories for other people who are coming up, because younger people, obviously, like little kids, this is radio for them, being able to go online and tune in to the jump off, and and be able to watch it, because now it's like it's elevated. So we're creating, I think, another level to that we've had, but it's just
Mm.
like elevated, which is just fantastic. So that's how I'm celebrating it. I'm remembering people, I'm celebrating ones that are still alive, and I'm just kind of enjoying doing what I love with awesome humans like yourself.
I love it. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Listen, we've got some voice notes here that I want to play just to hear what people think of this day, and how they're going to go about celebrating it. So
Yeah.
I want to do that for us and play them. Let me just organize myself here quickly and just see what's happening here. Uh, I don't know. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, let's see here. Okay. I can't, that's very weird because I can hear it, but I can't hear it play. Do you know what I mean?
Good morning.
Okay. Was that me?
No.
Okay. That wasn't me. Anyway, all right. We will sort that out and play it. I want to say that want to thank the social crossover actually for hanging out and doing their show from 6 until 9. They do of course send their apologies because it was load shedding, and then we had to have our inverter come in, and that takes a little bit of time to have that switch over. So they did say apologies to the listeners of the social crossover. And of course, they said very goodbye and very good thank you for tuning in and listening to them. Otherwise, Lungi, what I'm going to do quickly is we need to get into some music. And then when I come back, because we'll come back and do the damn thing again, I want to see if I can sort out these voice notes, because I want to hear what people actually have to say about this, right?
Me too.
Because that's very interesting to know. I know that yeah, let's do that. Let's go to some music, and then when we come back, we'll hear what people have to say. All right, it's just gone 45 minutes after the hour, 9 o'clock. This is the jump off on Keith Ngesi Radio according to you. The name's Quacks. I'm hanging out with Lungi, and we are doing World Radio Day. I'm broadcasting live from number 16 Smart Road all the way out in Nahoon. So if you're around in our neck of the woods and you want to say what up, you're more than welcome to do so. Otherwise, Lungster's out in Cape Town. Where are you broadcasting from in Cape Town, man?
Well, right now I'm at home. It's
Mhm.
still morning time, but later on I'm heading out to our beautiful little studio in Woodstock area. And I'm also saying, if you're around, if you're in the area, come through.
Pop in and say what up. I
Yeah,
love it.
man.
All right. All right, we'll be back in a bit. Let's get into some music. I do have some Sawawa coming through on the playlist. Bunga Ganani. The name of the
I
song
love
Bunga
this
Bunga
song.
Ganani when Sawawa came through. Do you know what I'm doing, Lungster, as well? I'm playing songs that we heard on the radio. Like, this is a
Yes.
song I know you definitely heard on the radio. So that's what we're going to play just now. It is Sawawa coming through with Bunga Ganani. When you heard it, how old were you when you heard Sawawa? Do you even remember? Do you even remember? Do
I
you?
do. I loved Msawa, and Mzambia was my other favorite
I'm
because,
telling you, of
those kid
course.
stars.
Of course, you can't leave Shoza out of the mix.
Ooh, my dog is go. Oh,
Do you
loved it.
understand? You can't leave Shoza out of the mix. Anyway, we'll be back in a bit. It's 42 after 9. This is the jump off. Good morning.